So this is one of those situations where knowing your dog's dogonality and how they respond to stress will help you, one, notice your stress. Remember, our dogs mirror things to us. Dogs are a great way to tell how we're doing. they're, they're a great way to, especially if you know your dog. If you know your dog's dogonality and you know what's going on, you'll be like, oh my, is that me? There's so many times in my life where I'm like, oh my dogs are crazy today. Is that me? And quite often it is me. Quite often it's me. That's just how it is. I don't get offended by it anymore. I don't get sad about it anymore, honestly, because awareness and knowledge is power, right? I used to be like, oh man, it's me. And that would put me into a spiral of, oh man, I'm really just messing up my dogs. I don't do that anymore. I literally go, oh man, I'm messing up my dogs. Let's change that. Let's change it. It's kind of helped me pull myself out of things. Ah, yes, to quote Taylor Swift, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Today on the podcast, we're talking about your dog can smell your stress. Now, what are you going to do about it? We're talking all about stress and how we need to regulate our emotion to help influence our dogs. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been like halfway through your walk and realized that you're out of treats and thought, well, I guess I'm invisible now. But here's the thing. You know what you never run out of? You. That's right. You're always there. You're the reason your dog pays attention. You're the comfort. You're the leader. You're the reward. And treats are just the liver flavored cherry on top. Ew, gosh, I wish I never said that. Sorry. But for real, this work, it's not about snacks. It's not about repetitions. It's actually about how you show up, how you lead, how you love, how you connect. And that's what the Fearless Framework is here to help you build. It's a trust-based, relationship-first way of living with your dog, one that doesn't depend on a treat pouch or a perfect cue. Inside, you'll get practical tools, a supportive community, monthly Q&A, video coaching, and ongoing resources to guide your growth. Because you are the constant in your dog's life. And you, my friend, are enough. Let me show you how. Are you ready? Let's do this thing. Come learn how to lead from connection and not cookies at beyondobedience.ca/fearless. And I can't wait to see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Speaking of podcasts, super duper shout out. Just found this podcast. Absolutely loved it. Heard one episode and was like, love it. I haven't, actually, that's the only one I've heard, but I still loved it. It's called Emotional Horsemanship Podcast with Lockie Phillips. Anyway, I listened to this interview with Lockie Phillips and Charlotte Moore, and I think the title of the episode was Make Friends with Stress. And I loved it so much. The conversation centered around, stress and cortisol communication, and it's, oh my gosh, it got me thinking. Like, I've always been fascinated. If you don't know this about me, you'll know. I always have been fascinated about the similarities between dogs and horses. I have found so much of my work with dogs has been complemented by my work with horses and understanding horse communication and all of that. And so it's always fascinated me. Horses, if they're with their sensitivity and their awareness, the way they read us through our energy and breath and intention long before we say a word. And the thing is dogs are no different, right? Dogs are the exact same. So that's what I wanted to talk about today in this episode, how our dogs don't just hear us, they feel us and they smell us, right? Now, I know I said your dog can hear your stress, but by hear, I mean smell. They can smell your stress, right? And so this sort of blends beautifully into one of my favorite Nelson-isms. If you don't know, my mentor, Nelson Hodges, who I have cornered to do a podcast episode with me. So I'm super excited about that. Not sure when that will air, but he did agree. So he's coming on the show and I'm very, very excited. But one of his Nelsonisms, we call them Nelsonisms, is control yourself and influence the dog. Don't try to control the dog. And it fits perfectly here. And that was the first thing I thought when I was listening to this. I was like, oh my gosh, Nelson would totally agree with all of this because he says this all the time. Because this isn't about like fixing your dog. It's about regulating you and your emotions, creating security and building trust from the inside out. And that's so important. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's important. So let's just talk about just the fact that the awesomeness of dogs and their noses. Let's just for a second, let's take a moment and think about the dog's nose. So dogs can have almost 300 million olfactory receptors. Almost 300 million in compared to our 6 million. Right? Like, that means that that's estimated that they can smell anywhere between 10,000 times to 100,000 times better than we can. What? Yes. This is one of the reasons why, sidebar, this is one of the reasons why I was never, ever a fan of those citronella anti-bark collars. I figured like that citronella collars must have been like the worst form of torture for dogs. Talk about throwing a scent that they don't like right up into their nasal cavity and then have it just stay there and linger for like a long time, long after they stop barking. But I digress. The point is, if we can smell it, they can smell it up to 10,000 times more than us. Isn't that crazy? So when our body releases cortisol, which is our main stress hormone, your dog knows it. And not only do they know it, it lingers in the air. One of the fascinating things, I don't want to spoil too much if you're going to go over to that podcast and take a listen to it. It's a fascinating conversation. But one of the things that I think Lockie said was that when he teaches a seminar, he gets everybody to like meditate before the seminar starts, because when the horses come into the arena, they're literally, and he put it this way, I thought it was a beautiful way to put it. He said the perfume of cortisol is lingering in the air. So all the horses are on edge. And I loved the line. I was like, that just gives it, like they're just sitting in the cortisol. Right. I've had times in my life where my life has been stressful. And now when I look at it that way, I'm like, my dogs are just sitting in the cortisol, the perfume cortisol of my life right now. It hit me really hard. But anyway, so when that cortisol perfume lingers, the words that you say, even your body language probably cannot overpower your biology that's yelling panic, right? Panic. And here's the thing. This is a fascinating thing. If you've done any like self-improvement stuff, like I'm kind of a self-improvement junkie, if I'm being 100. Like it doesn't show sometimes. They can always tell the people like me that are self-improvement junkies because we're the ones that are the hot mess, but we're reading all the books. And listening to all the podcasts. But I digress. The point is, if you ever have done like self-improvement stuff, you'll know that our bodies can't tell the difference between like an actual physical threat, like, in the old days when we would be chased by a saber-toothed tiger. And I don't know why they always use that example. There must have been a lot of saber-toothed tigers out when we were like cavemen. But your body can't tell the difference. So they can't tell the difference that you're just stressed out about a poorly worded email that you sent, or whether or not you're being like physically attacked. So your body stress system is the same, right? And the reason why I say that is because if some of us are sitting in a lot of stress in our daily lives, think about the perfume of cortisol in your house right now. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm just let's be real. Like, if you're someone who is thinking to yourself, why can't my dog just get it together? Or why is my dog constantly acting out? Or why is my dog's reactivity bad? But you're living currently an extremely stressful life. Maybe this has something to do with it. So something to think about. Anyway, so when our body releases cortisol, which is the main stress hormone, it lingers in the air. And that's why we want to sort of do a check. All of the stuff that I talk about here is about how we show up for our dogs, not how we can train our dogs, or not how the dogs show up to us, but how we show up for our dogs. So if we know that we're stressed out, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because every single dog let's also point out, every single dog is going to react differently to that. Not every dog is going to react the same. So let's use our Dogonalities, for example. If you're new and you've never taken the Dogonality quiz, run and do that right now. Hit pause, go do that right now. It's a free quiz. Just go to beyondobedience.ca/quiz. I had to think about that. It's quiz, beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Go to that, do that quick, and then come back to this. Okay. So for those of you who have taken the quiz, if your dog, let's say, is a right brain extrovert that's confident, right? So those are your fearless explorers. Those are your drivey dogs, right? And you're stressed out. That stress might create a bigger energy, more explosiveness, right? It might match their prey drive stress, right? Like all of that stuff. So you might be like amping them up with it. But let's say, in contrast to that, if you had like a right brain introvert, that stress might make the dog shut down. It might make them not want to feel safe enough to try things. They might not feel emotionally safe enough to go because they don't understand there's cortisol in the air. Panic, panic, panic. I don't know what to do, right? So they just shut down. Left brain extroverts, or those life of the party dogs, they might get a little bit more pushy or be a little bit more energized by it. They might be, because if you think about, especially like working breeds and stuff like that, when we put them in environments where there's a lot of stuff going on, they can be a little bit more on edge, right? And that being on edge, I think, is what can flip them from left brain to right brain very quickly. And in contrast to that, left brain introverts, they might just dismiss you out of hand. Just be like, there are calm thinkers, right? Those are our independent breeds. They're like, you know what? Your emotions are crazy right now. You're feeling unstable, and I'm just not even going to pay attention to you because you're not somebody worth following. So this is one of those situations where knowing your dog's dogonality and how they respond to stress will help you, one, notice your stress. Remember, our dogs mirror things to us. Dogs are a great way to tell how we're doing. they're a great way to, especially if you know your dog. If you know your dog's dogonality and you know what's going on, you'll be like, oh my, is that me? There's so many times in my life where I'm like, oh my dogs are crazy today. Is that me? Am I crazy today? And quite often it is me. Quite often it's me. That's just how it is. I don't get offended by it anymore. I don't get sad about it anymore, honestly, because awareness and knowledge is power, right? I used to be like, oh man, it's me. And that would put me into a spiral of, oh man, I'm really just messing up my dogs. I don't do that anymore. I literally go, oh man, I'm messing up my dogs. Let's change that. Let's change it. It's kind of helped me pull myself out of things now. So it's okay. It's okay to say I'm not okay. It's okay to say I'm going to skip the walk. It's okay to say today we're just going to hang out in the backyard because I just don't have it right now. That is leadership. So what can you do about it? What can you do about it? Let's say you're like, all right, I'm not feeling 100%, but I got to go for a walk. And you know that you're going to amp yourself up by going, oh, God, I got to go for a walk. And there's going to be all those dogs there. And there's going to be that jerk neighbor dog and all of that stuff. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment before you go for the walk and just breathe. Now, there's lots of different breathing techniques that you can try. I think one of the most common one is the box breath. Have you ever tried that, where you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 4, you pause for 4, you breathe in for 4. It's a box, right? I've tried that one. That one works okay for me. That is really, really good is having a longer exhale than your inhale. So when we are breathing quickly, holding our breath, or we have rapid exhales, it signals our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight, flight, avoidance system. So when we take the time to take a couple of deep breaths, but also emphasize a much longer exhale, it stimulates the parasympathetic system, right? Which is our rest and digest system. So when we take a moment before we go for a walk to just breathe in the moment. And if you are, you know what, this would be something too that I would try. If you have a dog that's like, sees the leash and goes all wacky, banana beans, crazy, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then they're already out of their mind. Maybe this could be your new ritual before your walk. Before our walk, we're going to sit for a moment and we're just going to focus on our breath, right? That's one thing that you can do. The other thing, and I highly, highly recommend this. I don't care if you're going to call me woo-woo or whatever. Go ahead and do it if you want to. Remember, self-improvement junkie, right? But one of the things that 100% helps is taking those deep breaths and then imagining the first 2 minutes of your walk, even if you can't imagine the whole walk, but the first 2 minutes of your walk going really, really well. Like, just imagine your dog checking in with you. Your dog is happy to be going, loose body, loose tail. He's like, we're going for a walk together. She's all engaged with you, whatever it is. Take a moment and visualize it. Visualize the walk going well. Here's why that works in tandem with your breathing. Because generally speaking, especially if you are someone who has had practiced the emotion of being stressed out about the walk, you start that before you even go for the walk. Right? If you have oh gosh, I got to go for a walk, or that dog's going to be out there. Oh man, I hope those whatever dogs aren't going to be out today when I go for a walk. The moment that your brain starts doing all of those things, what do you think your mind is picturing? Right? Your mind is picturing those dogs. Your mind is picturing how your dog is going to lunge and react and respond to those dogs or the squirrel or the whatever. And so before you even step foot out of the door, you've got a mental image and a prep. Your body already starts to prep for it. You start having shallower breaths. You start to actually clench and hold the leash a little bit tighter. You start the walk fully expecting and therefore producing a stressful event. So as goofy as it may sound, if you take a moment before the walk, sit or stand. If you want to stand, just take a few very big, deep breaths. Do one now with me. Just take a breath in, hold for 4, and then exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 7, 6, 5. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now do that while picturing an incredible walk with your dog. You're going to lower your cortisol. You're going to lower your heart rate. You're going to start to relax your shoulders. You're going to make sure, just give your shoulders a little roll before you start. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Make sure you're not clenching your hands. Make sure that your body isn't tight. Just take the time before you go for the walk. Take the time. And even if the dog is bouncing off the wall, just keep on doing it. Because I'll tell you what will happen. Even if you have a dog that's going crazy, like running at the door and barking and doing all that stuff, if you were to do this long enough, your dog's going to come and go, what's wrong with you, human? And they're probably going to ask questions like, what's wrong? My human's not going, right? So it works. Trust me when I say it works. The breathing exercises work. The other thing that I like to do, now not everyone can do this, but I like to do like grounding and stuff like that. So I'll actually, as I'm breathing, I kind of also visualize like roots going into the ground. It helps me sort of stand straight. It helps me expand my lungs, all of that stuff, just to start to get everything into place. And then if you have to, it sounds corny, tell yourself you're going to have a great walk. This is going to be a great walk. Let's go find some things. I'm going to go explore with my dog. Let's go see what we can find together. Whatever you need to do to make this better. But just give it a try and let me know. Okay? Now, bonus exercise for you. Because some of you might be going like, I'm not going to be able to do this right before the walk. I just need to get the dog out. Blah, 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 blah. Fine. Then do this daily as a Be With session. If you haven't heard about my Be With sessions, so you know what? Send me a message, email me. I'll tell you more about it. But do the Be With sessions where you sit and you're just with your dog. No expectation. This isn't right before a walk. I just mean like when your dog's resting, just be present in that moment. Just take it all in. Take some deep breaths. Be present in that moment with your dog. Practice this on a daily. This is the practice of awareness. Be With is the practice of awareness, but it's also the practice of connection and being with a dog at a deeper level. And if you practice this on a daily, it doesn't have to be for a long period of time. It doesn't have to be something that you set out to do. As I've mentioned before, I do this all the time. If I have a moment, this will happen a lot of times when I'm working, because I'll go to like start working and my dogs will all settle around me. Sometimes I work on my bed, if I'm being honest. If the house is really loud, I don't have an office. I have a corner of a dining room. So if my family's all out and about and they're being all loud, I'll go into my bedroom and I have a little portable desk that I put on my bed. And of course, all the dogs will come in, but they'll all kind of lie down. And, you know, I'll take a moment. Sometimes in the middle of the work, I'll just like stop and I'll shut my computer for a second, shut the lid on my computer, and I'll just sit and I'll take some deep breaths. I'll just observe where they are. I'll just sort of like listen to them breathing. I'll, you know, just be with them and connect with them. Whatever dog has happened to be lying beside me, it's usually Nike. I'll usually put my hand on her chest and I'll kind of pair my breathing with her breathing. Like it's just taking a moment to be aware of your breath and being aware of the dog's breath, and it's a moment of connection. And if you can try that every single day, it makes it easier for you to connect with your dogs when there's stuff going on. That's your bonus. The power of Be With daily sessions, okay? So let's kind of recap everything. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. Sorry, that breathing actually made me kind of relaxy. It really worked for me. All right, so the bottom line is how we feel. How we feel determines how we act and how our dogs are going to respond to how we feel. Their behavior is shaped by their emotional state, just like ours. So if your dog isn't responding to you or your training, they're probably responding to your state. That's right. So this is your opportunity to take Nelson's advice here. Control yourself. and influence your dog. Don't try and control your dog. It's very hard for dogs to settle in with someone who's not in control. Okay, start with your breath, then lead with curiosity, and gain the trust. All right? So there you go, my friends. Hey, if you want support with this kind of thing, this is what we are all about inside the Fearless Framework. This is what we're all about. If you haven't heard about the Fearless Framework, I'm telling you, you need to be in it. Because this is a group of amazing dog owners like you, all getting together, knowing where we struggle. We're like a support system for other humans, knowing that we're struggling with this. But we know where we struggle, and we're working towards the same thing. We're working on us trying to show up to be a person that our dog wants to follow. And if that's something that interests you, I encourage you to join us. Come and join us inside that amazing program. It's an online program. So you get the, do it at your own pace, online videos and homework and all that stuff. But really the best part about it is the online community. The people that you will meet inside this community are like no other. They're like no other. You want support? Rarely found on online communities, especially in the dog world. I'm telling you, you will love it. So why not join us? beyondobedience.ca/fearless. Find out more about it. If you're not sure, you can always send me a message. Send me a message and I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it's a right fit for you. It's not the right fit for everybody. I will say that. It's not the right fit for everybody. And that's okay. Some people, it's not the right stage of life for them right now. They can't, commit to those kind of things. Some people, it just doesn't jive with them, and that's okay. It's all right. But if it is for you, I'll let you know. All right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, my friend, get out there today and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you are amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. And one more thing, this podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.